Give me a good beer.
I've always believed in the idea of making beverages that are highly drinkable, even if they sound a little bizarre at first. Cellar Door is one of the beers that I was probably the second beer we released commercially. And it's my take on the Belgian white beer. I'm not a big fan of orange peel and coriander in beer, but I do like a wheat beer. So I basically used the house saison yeast, and thought about what the concept of a wit beer was, which is a spiced Belgian white. So I'm like, okay, here's the Belgian yeast, here's the base of a Belgian wit. The 50%. It's very basic. It's 50% wheat, 50% Pilsner malt. In order to get some of the citrus characters that people would get from orange peel and coriander, I decided to use Citra hops and Hallertau Blanc. That came later. Originally, it was Sterling and Citra. This is before Hallertau Blanc existed.
Yeah.
So I recently updated the recipe, added Hallertau Blanc, a little bit of dry hopping, and a Jordanian sage tea called Miramar, which has a very unique, fruity, herbaceous aroma and very cleansing on the palate. When we launched this beer, it was when the website Ratebeer was still in its glory, and this was the highest rated wit beer in the world for a few years running, and multiple times other brewers asked for this to be switched to the saison category, and I kept fighting to put it back in the wit beer, because technically, as far as the beer guidelines, it falls into a wit beer. It's like
it tastes too good to be a wit beer. It's too interesting to be a wit beer. It's not fair. That's awesome. This is the second Stillwater recipe and beer, and this is my second favorite. I mean, I'll be honest, this is Brian's favorite on this tour, and I've just been loving it. But I've always loved this beer. This was probably my favorite Stillwater beer always. It's an amazing beer. It's dry and fruity. Again, I keep using the same words because that's what you do. So,
and this is the beer that really broke me into the gastronomy sector. Like, chefs across the board love it. It's probably like the ultimate food beer, because the sage quality, while it's not the same sage that you put in stuffing, it's more like a tea, and it's fruity but still has a herbaceousness. And it's fantastic for cleansing the palate after eating kind of any kind of food. It works with any cuisine.
Yeah, he's been in Michelin-starred restaurants, and they use this as in between courses to cleanse your palate and go to the next weird creation that the chef comes up with. And this is the perfect palate setter. Anybody who hasn't tried this, highly, 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 triple highly, 100 times highly recommended that you try this beer. It's amazing. And no other beer uses the Jordanian sage tea Miramar, as far as we know. Probably you're the only one. It's a fantastic beer. Please give it a try.